What if I told you that Jesus didn't stand outside of Jewish mysticism? What if he stood inside its most dangerous stream? Not medieval Kabbalah, not New Age spirituality, but a forgotten world of fiery angels, heavenly palaces, secret divine names, and human beings who dared to ascend into heaven itself. This is the world of Hechalot mysticism. It's the world of a Hebrew term that translates as throne rooms. Throne rooms of God, of course. The world that Jesus of Nazareth sounds like he belongs in, once you know how to listen. You see, Jewish mysticism doesn't begin with philosophy. It begins with trauma, with exile. We're talking about Babylon, a ruined Jerusalem, and a priest named Ezekiel standing by a river.
The heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. As I looked, behold, a stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud, with brightness round about it, and fire flashing forth continually, and in the midst of the fire, as it were, gleaming bronze. And from the midst of it came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Now as I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel upon the earth beside the living creatures, one for each of the 4 of them. As for the appearance of the wheels and their construction, their appearance was like the gleaming of a chrysolite, and the 4 had the same likeness, their construction being as it were, a wheel within a wheel. The 4 wheels had rims and they had spokes, and their rims were full of eyes round about. Over the heads of the living creatures there was the likeness of a firmament, shining like crystal, spread out above their heads. And above the firmament over their heads there was the likeness of a throne, in appearance like sapphire, and seated above the likeness of a throne was a likeness as it were, of a human form. Like the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud on the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about.
What he sees is not gentle. A storm cloud, fire, living creatures, wheels within wheels, covered in eyes. And above it all, a throne, and upon it, the likeness of a human form. That vision, the Merkava, the divine chariot, became radioactive. Later rabbis would warn, the account of the chariot must not be taught except to one who understands on his own. Why? Because people weren't just reading Ezekiel. They were trying to go there. By the time of Jesus, Jewish mystics believed that heaven was structured, was layered, guarded, dangerous. 7 heavens, angelic gatekeepers, palaces, hechalot as they're called, each one more lethal than the last. To ascend, the mystic had to purify himself, fast, chant divine names, and speak angelic passwords with terrifying precision. Get it wrong, and angels burn you alive. Get it right, and you stand before the throne of glory. Not everyone who gazes upon the chariot returns unchanged or alive, declared the rabbis. And here's the key. These traditions are Second Temple Judaism, the same world as Jesus, the same world as the Dead Sea Scrolls, the same world as John the Baptist and Paul. Now listen, really listen to Jesus.
The heavens were opened. You will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power. No one has ascended into heaven except the one who descended. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
This is not village-level theology. This is ascent language. This is what mystics say. When Jesus calls himself the Son of Man, he's invoking the book of Daniel, chapter 7. It's a vision where a human-like figure approaches God's throne in heaven and receives authority over all nations. In Jewish mystical texts like 1st Enoch, that figure becomes something far more than symbolic. He's an exalted human being, a heavenly ruler, a transformed being, which brings us to a mountain. Jesus takes 3 disciples up on a high mountain, and then it happens. His appearance changes. His face shines. His clothing blazes white. Moses appears. Elijah appears. A cloud descends, and a voice speaks.
This is my son, my chosen. Listen to him.
Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Matthew 17:14. Good. This is terrifying. This is not a magic trick. This is a Merkava event. Radiant transformation? Check. Mountain ascent? Check. Glory cloud, the kavod? Absolutely. See, in Jewish mysticism, when a human enters the heavenly realm, they don't just visit, they change. This is my son, says God. The disciples aren't watching a metaphor. They're watching a man who looks like he belongs in heaven. Now, early Jewish mystics believed that God's names were power, not just labels, forces. Angels obeyed them. Creation trembled at them. Now, listen to one of the earliest Christian hymns.
God highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name above every name.
This is not Greek mythology. This is Hechalot theology. In later Jewish mysticism, Enoch ascends to heaven and becomes Metatron, enthroned, radiant, bearing divine authority. He's even called the Lesser God, the Lesser YHWH, a second power, yet subordinate. The parallels are impossible to miss. And then there's Paul, the same Paul who says,
I know a man who 14 years ago, whether in the body I do not know or out of the body I do not know, God knows, such a man was caught up to the 3rd heaven.
He hears things he's not allowed to repeat. Why the silence? Because mystics didn't explain heavenly journeys, they survived them. Paul speaks easily about cosmic rulers, heavenly palaces, transformation into glory. This is not philosophy. This is experience. For Paul, Jesus isn't just remembered. Jesus is encountered. Encountered as a heavenly figure. Jesus doesn't teach medieval Kabbalah, but he speaks its ancestral language, light and darkness, above and below, hidden knowledge, transformation, new birth from heaven.
To you it has been given to know the mysteries of the kingdom.
Mysteries, razim in Hebrew. That's a Jewish mystical word. Truth is not argued. It's revealed. Mysticism destabilizes authority. If you can access God directly, you don't need gatekeepers. Jesus forgives sins without the temple. He teaches without priestly permission. He claims heavenly authority. From Jerusalem's elite, this isn't just blasphemy. It's mystical rebellion. Jesus doesn't emerge from nowhere. He emerges from a Jewish world that's alive with angels, with fire, and with forbidden assent. He speaks like a mystic. He acts like a visionary. And he claims a place shockingly close to the throne. Whatever you believe about it, he didn't stand outside of Jewish mysticism. Nope, he walked straight into its most dangerous heavens. And you know what? The echoes are still burning.